Hello, hello, hello. It's Lisa Copeland and
Frank J. Lopes.
hey, what does the J stand for? Because I know everybody wants to know what the J is.
I think people, Lisa, want to know a lot of other stuff. I don't know if everybody wants to know what the J J is.
Honestly, what we really want to know is what hair products you use.
Well, the J stands for José, which is Joseph in Portuguese. And
I like that.
Yeah, José. And
I would almost go by Jose versus Frank, except that people probably would get it screwed up, wouldn't they?
People would say Jose. They would look at it and say Jose.
They would.
Yeah, which I don't know what Jose translates to. Maybe somebody knows and they can put it in the comments. But no, Jose translates over to Joseph. So it's supposed to be Frank. It's supposed to be Frank José Lopes. That's the way you're supposed to pronounce it.
Well, the Jose sounds like you could be some kind of fancy hairdresser. So I'm telling you right now, you're probably missing your calling.
What's really interesting is that today the governor of New Jersey ordered all of the barber shops to be closed. Okay.
No.
And now what's amazing, I'm trying to make light of this. Is not funny, but I'm trying to make light of this because we're trying to make light of things, because even though we do have a lot of serious things to speak about tonight. But when he called, when I didn't hear it live, but if I'm looking back at the time that he physically said during the press conference that every barbershop was going to close, I suddenly got this like shake and chill. And then looking back, I realized it's because he said that the barbershops are going to close. So I may, when all this is over, I may have a brand new hairstyle, which is going to be much longer than what it is
thick,
right now.
And then we're gonna have hair envy even worse. Look at Frankie. Look at everyone who's jumping on. James and Laura and Michelle and Adam Marburger and Kevin and Anthony, and I don't know if I said Laura yet. So we got a bunch of people on here. We got a lot of great stuff to share. So share it out into your groups and share it out. Frank and I came together. So I was supposed to be in New York next week, and Frankie and I were going to go to a big conference on marketing.
Yes, we were.
I know, an amazing conference. And I'm so bummed out that I'm not going to be there staying at the Lopes, the José Lopes household for 4 days.
The José Lopes.
I'm telling you right now, that's you might just be José to me now the rest of your life. And so because of Frankie, you guys know that, when he comes to Austin to come visit his clients here, he likes to stay at my house. And yes, every of you conspiracists out there, my husband is home. And the only person who loves Frank Lopes more than me is my husband, James Copeland. He even makes sure he has pie when he comes to town.
That's right. My love for pecan pie, which in all reality, once again, people do not care about this whatsoever. But
I know we're trying to get people in the mood here, that's right. What we're going to bring. We're going to bring big stuff tonight. So we need you to share this out. Okay.
That's right. Friends, if you haven't hit the share button yet, please hit the share button now. Your friends that you know that need to see tonight's show, just go ahead and tag them in the comments right now, please, and hit that share button. This is something, tonight's show, you're not going to want to be selfish with it, just like everything else that Lisa and I have been putting out all week long, and neither one of us has plans to stop with what we're putting out, to stop the content and to stop the help and everything. So now is not the time to be selfish. Okay. Hit that share button right now and put it out there. Tag your friends in this, tag everybody. Don't worry. And hey, and if you haven't subscribed to notifications on Lisa's page right now, you're going to see on the top, right on the top of the comments, there's something that says get notified every time Lisa Copeland goes live. Hit that button right now. That does not mean that every time Lisa likes like one of my posts or one of your posts or like a cat video or something that you're going to get a notification. It just means that every time she goes live, it's going to feed into your Facebook notifications. And like that, later on when you're checking, you'll be able to see it and you'll be able to catch the show live, or you'll be able to watch it on the replay, because Lisa is one of, I got to say it straight, she's one of the few out there today who are bringing you the information that you need, the information that is going to feed your brain, that's going to wind up putting money in your pockets, short term and long term, and that you are going to be able to leverage in the future. She's one of the few people who are doing that and not asking for anything in return. So you need to hit the share button right now. You need to tag one of your friends, tag 2 of your friends, tag 9 of your friends. If you only have 10, tag all 10. Go ahead. And you need to hit that get notifications button, please. It's very, very important. To you, it's important.
I love that. And Frankie, I feel the same way about you. If you're not following Frank J. Lopes, you're making a mistake, because he is pure fire and he's pure expertise. And so, we were supposed to be in New York at a 3-day conference next week, the most cutting edge marketing conference when it came to, what are people doing in, automotive, real estate, mortgage in 2020? What were some of the hacks? And so I've got an executive coach now because of Frank. And I love it. And so Frankie also follows along with this group that we follow. And so we have been just really, really in the middle of it. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, and throw me some hearts out there. I think the majority of us are dressed up every single day with nowhere to go. I would imagine, Frankie, don't you think everybody's homebound now? Hello, Glenn Lundy is in the house.
I think my boy Glenn, I think just about, if not everybody, there's just a huge majority. Yeah, there's the majority right now are homebound every single day. And just like you said, Lisa, everybody's dressed up with no place to go. But the reality of that, friends, is that you do have some place to go. You do have places to go. You have things to do, and you have people to see and people to communicate with. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about tonight. That's what's on the agenda for tonight. You may be homebound, okay? Or you may be, what's the word, restricted to staying at home. But that does quarantined, right? But that does not mean that your brain is quarantined. That does not mean that your actions are quarantined. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden this thing is not working. And it doesn't mean that your computer's not working. It doesn't mean that you can't read. There are so many things that we are going to go over today, and also that Lisa has planned in shows coming up in the very, very near future, of things that you need to be doing right now, whether you're quarantined at home, whether you're just staying home because you feel safe. And you know what? If you're staying home to feel safe, we're with you 100%. Whatever it is that you got to do to feel safe is the utmost priority. But just because you're home, that doesn't mean that you have nothing to do. And it doesn't mean that you should be doing nothing.
Right. And Frankie, one of the things I want to really put out there, and, I want to encourage everybody out there to be the lion or the lioness, right? I mean, the majority of anybody that follows Frank and I, most likely you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur in the automotive retail business, mortgage business, real estate business, like, the top salespeople in the world, and people that are out there every day making it happen. And I will tell y'all, I want to encourage you to be the lion or the lioness and not the sheep, because, and I've been guilty of this. The first thing we have got to do, it is overwhelming, the amount of news that's coming at us. And, one of the first things I did today, I turned off my Fox News alerts, because it was every 5 minutes, the noise it makes, and it's bringing in more alerts and more alerts and more alerts. And, we have got to, not be so paralyzed, because it's paralyzing to read it. Don't you agree, Frankie?
No, absolutely.
It's too much. It's too much. We know it's bad out there.
Yeah, as an example, I have even taken myself down to where the television is off now. We're only going to the television maybe 2 or 3 times a day, right, just to get an update, and that's it. I've self-disciplined myself to not go on to Fox News every time that my brain wants to drift, right, and like go look for something else to do, because a lot of times that, friends, look, we're all human. A lot of times that happens. You're sitting at your computer, you're doing something, and everything is accessible to you. All information, all entertainment is accessible to you with just a few keystrokes away. So a lot of times we're all guilty as charged of jumping on to something else, right? I've self-disciplined myself to not go to Fox News or CNN or CNBC or any news outlet, because it would just be over and over and over again. And friends, that's something that we're going to definitely stress to you too. And let's start it off with what Lisa was saying. Like right now, it's really time to either be the lion or the lioness and not the sheep. The sheep stays home all day and just glued to the news, watching the same thing over and over again, with all due respect, more than likely melting your brain and increasing your stress level throughout the course of the day.
And
The
your
lion
fear. And your fear.
And your fear. And
here's the deal, Frankie. We're acknowledging it's bad. We know it's bad. We know the news is not good right now. Like, we're not saying that we think this is not. We know it's relevant. We know. But right now, sitting home, there's not anything that any of us can do about what's going on except to follow the guidelines laid out by our government, by our states, by the towns we live in. And we both want to encourage you. You absolutely have to do exactly what they say to do. And I think everyone at this point, Frankie's saying, as long as you're not an essential person or whatever, it's to stay home.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's to stay home, and it's to keep your kids home during spring break. Like, it's tough. And, the last time that our country was in a situation like this, it was with our grandparents, and it was World War II. And, the one thing I do listen to every day is that the president's been doing a press conference, an update every day with his team. And, every day I tune in. In fact, Frank and I are usually texting during it, and I do tune into that because, I don't, I want to be a lioness. I want to know what's going on, but I don't want to drown myself in it, because otherwise I would go in the corner, cry my eyes out, suck my thumb for the rest of the day. And I would be paralyzed in fear. And I know that there are people watching this right now that you're being sucked into the paralyzation and the fear. And believe me, it's normal, but we've got to guard ourselves against that. We need to be informed citizens. We need to know what's going on, but we cannot watch the news cycle 24/7, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, or it will destroy our psyche, and it'll destroy some of the things Frankie and I are going to talk about tonight that we have the opportunity to do because we are home and we do have some breathing room.
Absolutely. Lisa, let me add this too. In no way, shape, or form are Lisa and I trying to discount anything that's going on or downplay it or say it's not serious. That's not the point here.
Very serious.
What's what's also extremely serious about this is that each and every one of us, that we keep ourselves in the best mental and physical condition that we can possibly be in, mostly because of the fact that, number one, we just want to do that for our health. But number two, we need to have our resistance as high as we can possibly have it. We need to have our immune systems running strong. And that means blocking out unnecessary stress, because stress will wear down your immune system. It will make you tired. It will grind you down. And then you could wind up getting sick. And I'm not just talking about coronavirus. You could get a cold. You could get a stomach virus. There's so many things that could happen. But right now, you need to keep yourself as healthy as you possibly can. And we're not saying not to watch the news. Lisa and I both said we'll watch President Trump's press conference each and every single day. But when it's done, friends, you must implore a strategy, of limiting your exposure to what's going on. And I'm talking about limiting your exposure to the constant barrage of information, because like Lisa said, you will wind up finding yourself thinking about nothing, lost in the clouds, crying, sucking your thumb. Depression will set in. As soon as that press conference is over, you just hit the button and shut off the TV, and then go right back to whatever it is that you were doing before. And we're going to get into some of the other things that you should be doing in between all of those times to keep yourself healthy, to keep your brain healthy, and then also
the 6 tips we have, that to take your business to the next level. Because Frank, you and I both agree that this will pass. We don't know when. It could be 3 months. It could be 6 months. It could be 9 months. Like, for anybody to get on and say, "Oh, it's going to be over," and whatever, they don't know. Nobody knows.
That's right.
So that's one of the things we have to prepare ourselves for, is the inevitable of how long will this go on? So there's that. But so why don't we talk about some of the things you and I came up with? So Frankie and I've been kind of working on this all day. What you and I came up with about personal first, like how we need to structure our days, because again, some of you are still out working at the dealerships, but so many of you on here are on, you're on work at home, you're working remotely. My son-in-law works for the county of Travis County in Austin. My daughter works for Gartner. They're both working at home. My grandkids are out of school. Like, there's just a lot going on in the world. So, I'll take number one, Frankie. The first thing is that, I would recommend, I don't care, meditate, pray, do whatever it is, but you've got to take that time in the morning. And I would say, I'm doing it 2 to 3 times a day. Now, when I'm blowing and going, I'm doing good to do it once a week, but I'm doing it every day because, we have got to calm our minds and our spirit down. We have got to just, get present. And like I said, whether you meditate or you pray, we're not here to tell you how to do it or who to pray to, but we're here to tell you that you have got to, our bodies are being subjected right now to such an incredible amount of stress just from the news that we're being bombarded with, that we've got to take, 3 10-minute breaks a day. If you can figure out how to do that and just be quiet and conscious and, and just meditate and just think about the good things. Because if you look at the stats, if you look at what is out there, it's going to be a bumpy road. We know that already, but you can't dwell on that. I want you to dwell on what are some of the blessings you have in your life. Number one, that maybe that you're not sick right now. Maybe two, maybe that you do have clients right now. And number, that you have friends, you've got family or whatever it may be, but you've got to take those few minutes several times a day. And I say morning, wake up to it. Do it in the middle of the day after the press conference, because you're going to need it. Listening to these press conferences, they're so depressing. And then maybe before you go to bed to help you sleep.
Absolutely. Friends, taking care of yourself is the most selfish thing that you can do for everyone else. Okay. Most of us that are watching, we have people that are depending on us, whether they be our children, whether they be our elderly parents, whether they be our neighbors. It doesn't matter. We have our spouses, our partners. We have people that are depending on us. Taking care of yourself is the most selfish thing that you can do for everyone else. Okay. So you need to put yourself and your well-being first. And what Lisa's saying is 100% right. At least 3 10-minute breaks. We are all under a tremendous amount of stress right now. And look, I know a lot of you were saying, oh, well, there's nothing going on. I'm sitting at home all day. Just the fact that you are out of your routine, forced out of your routine. This isn't like vacation where, like you just said, hey, I'm not going to work for a week. I'm doing a staycation thing, right? That's different. You chose to do that. This is a completely different situation. And those types of things
at home, Frankie, like you and I talked about that. Like for me and you, like I'm used to running around. I'm jumping on airplanes. I'm traveling. I'm whatever. I'm going to see my friends. And like now, I mean, because I take very serious what the government has said, and I'm completely just hunkered down. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm on day 3 or 5 or whatever it is of this. And I'm just like, I don't even know, 60 days, 90 days of this. I mean, it's very much could be our reality. And it's really like I told you, Frankie, I was talking to our good friend, Dan Moore today when I was out exercising. And I was talking like, Dan, this is mind numbing. And he's like, I know. And so we all feel like that, especially most of us that are extroverts and salespeople. We're out there. We're used to being with people and rushing around. And now it's like come to a screeching halt. And that right there does something to your psyche.
Right. So Lisa, look, I'm going to give you a piece of advice right now. And if you're starting to feel into that, it might be a good idea to go out for your walk or your jog that you take every day. You maybe it's a good idea to move it up to twice a day. Or maybe 3 times a day, even if the second or third one that you go out, even if it's just 5 minutes and you just walk out to walk out of the front of your house and walk down to the gate and back, which is about a half a block, because most people have not been to Lisa's house, right? So it's only about a half a block down and a half a block back. That's it. But and that would only take you about 7 minutes to walk. But even just doing that, just to break the monotony, to break the view, to get fresh air, it's a good idea. And friends, it's the exact same thing goes for you as well. If you're starting to feel that edginess and you're starting to feel like, even depression start to set in from being home for so much, get your butt up and go for a walk. There's nothing that says that you can't go outside.
Right.
That's not there. There's nothing that says that you can't like go to the park or something like that. Maybe, New York City, you're not supposed to go to the park and touch anything, but that doesn't mean that you can't go do your social distancing thing. Right. But
Right.
which is fine. But you can go outside and get fresh air.
And
You're
all of
not
the national
restricted.
parks have, and all of the, parks all over the country, I mean, they've all waived, the fees to get in. So no matter where you guys and gals live, go to the park, go by yourself or with whoever lives with you, whatever, but get out of the house. I mean, I'm talking to friends today. They're like, oh my God, we're in the house. I'm like, no, you got to do what I'm doing. You got to physically move yourself out of the house because there's really nowhere to go because everything's closed.
That's right.
But get out of that house,
Totally. And that goes along. We're up to number 2. That goes along with the exercising and get out of the house thing. We moved on to the next one just naturally through conversation. Friends, 20 minutes of exercise per day will do wonders for you. It'll do wonders for your cardiovascular system. It'll do wonders for your body, for your digestive system, most importantly, for your brain. It will do wonders for your brain by getting everything moving, by you're igniting a whole bunch of different senses. You have to watch how you're walking, especially if you're outside. A simple 20 minutes of walking a day. If you have an exercise bike in your garage that's like under 30 boxes and everything, clean that crap out and get that exercise bike out, dust it off, get your butt on it and start riding. 20 minutes a day. Look, most of us have treadmills that we use as clothes hangers right now, right? As closets, clothes hangers in that extra room upstairs that you never go in. Go in there, knock all that stuff off the treadmill and do yourself. If it's raining outside, do 20 minutes on there. And then when you're done, pick up all the stuff that you knocked off the treadmill because now you gave yourself a new project. You gave yourself something else to do, which is to clean out that room that the treadmill sits in. Yeah,
no, absolutely. The next one is, I know we've all seen the memes of the cute fat little baby. You just want to like, oh, they're so cute, like all the rolls of fat. And they're like, this is what I'm going to look like after I come out of quarantine because, everybody's stocked up on food that's crap. And, and so we need to eat healthy. We need to just not sit around. Like, I just a vision of what we're doing. Like so many people I talk to all the time now because I've got time. They're not eating fresh food because it's a nightmare to go to the grocery store because they've got to stand in line. So they're, eating boxed foods. They're not getting outside. They're feeling numbed and paralyzed just by listening to stuff every single day. It's affecting every single, there's not a person I know, Frankie, not one person I know that is not at some level mentally affected by this and down and just, and sad. Like we're sad. Like this is, 2 weeks ago, what or a month ago, whatever this whole thing started, we really saw the threat coming, and some are going to say before that, so let's not even go there, people. Don't blow up my Facebook feed. But whenever this started, it's almost like 9/11, and you lived through 9/11 because you live in New York. It was like one day the life was great, and the next day everything has changed. Everything has changed.
Absolutely.
And so, but you know what? Just like with 9/11, we it was hard, it was tough, it was sad, but we moved on as a country. And I do think this is a bigger threat than 9/11. Do not think I'm downplaying it at all. I think it's a threat that we don't know yet. And it's weird, Frankie, because it's like we can see it playing out in Italy. Like we can see what's happening in these other countries. And so that's on your psyche, when the people in Italy are saying, we're just 10 days ahead of you. And so devastated their country.
Totally. So friends, we need to see these things that have gone on in other parts of the world. And honestly, it sounds horrible, but we need to use them to our advantage and we need to learn from them. We need to see what's gone on in other places. And we totally need to see it and say, okay, that went on over there. It feels very, very bad. I pray for you. learn from it, and adjust because of it. 2 days ago, I shared an article that was written by a gentleman who was the head of something at Yale, and he was saying that yes, the coronavirus obviously extremely important, but another virus, another thing that swept over the country is our poor health. And for a lot of people, their poor health is going to contribute to their recovery time, or maybe even their perish from this. Right. Friends, this in a way was so sad, because the first time that I went to the grocery store last week, because I won't let Andrea go out now because she is compromised. Yeah. She's compromised because she has an autoimmune disorder. Okay. So I won't let her go to the grocery store. So I go, and it was amazing that if you wanted fruit, this was last Saturday, you got a pretty decent selection of fruit. If you want fresh chicken, if you want fresh meat, you got a pretty good selection. If you want frozen pizza, you're screwed.
I'm not even laughing, because it's so true. Now I got to tell you, fresh meat, eggs, and milk is gone in Austin, Texas. Has been for 2 weeks. You can't get it. I mean, people just hoard it. Toilet paper, cannot get any. Right. So at least you got that. But the fruit and vegetable section, it was stocked full.
That's right. And I went yesterday because I wanted to pick up a few things for my parents. My father's 87, my mother's 80. So I wanted to make sure that they're stocked up and everything. So I went through, extremely careful, of course, bottle of Purell in my pocket, that we had it's about that big, a little bit on the way in while I was, and you know what? The Walmart that I went to, they had Purell for sale. They had Purell as soon as you walked in the front door. You could take yourself a nice handful of it. Everything was stocked back up again. The meats, the vegetables, everything was there, with the exception of paper towels and frozen pizza. Gone. So friends, when you're not, look, it's not good for you to be eating those things when we're under, so to say, normal times. Now that we have this challenge on all of us, this goes right back to the last thing that we were saying, sitting around and watching Netflix, eating a bag of Doritos may sound like a lot of fun, but it is not. You're going to put your body under strain and stress that it does not need. What you're eating is tremendously important, especially right now.
So it's getting outside, it's eating right. So we're going to kind of run through these real quick, because we really want to get into the business tips to keep you moving forward. The thing I'm going to say to you guys and gals is get dressed every day like you're going to work. It's just amazing how much better you feel. I could walk around here with a ponytail in my hair, my workout clothes, and I know my husband's watching this right now going, you do that all the time. But, I'm making myself put some makeup on my face, and because you start to think, well, who's going to see me? What am I going to do? And it's just how much better you feel and you carry yourself when when you at least have that piece of normality still in your life. Yes. Where you're still, getting ready, because it'd be so easy to sit on the couch, to your point, eat your Doritos, watch news and Netflix back and forth, not put your makeup, not do your hair, and just fall deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's what I have seen people do. That's what I've counseled people about, people that have called me from all around the country. I'm paralyzed. I'm afraid. I don't know what to do. My business is tanking. My dealership's going to close. And same with you, Frankie. We're fielding a lot of calls from our friends and from people that we've known for a long time. And and all I can say is we have a new normal right now. There's no doubt about it. So as much as you can keep normal in what you do, you got to do it, y'all. You have to do it just for your own self, for no one else. Because me, no one's going to see me. You guys see me tonight. So yay. And my husband will get home late because he's crazy busy. We're in the mortgage business. But other than that, it's I was outside today, Frankie. It's spring break here. And I live with a lot of kids in my neighborhood. There was not one human being outside when I went out for my walk. Not one human, not one kid, and that's good. I'm very happy that parents are keeping their kids in the backyard and keeping them safe. But that being said, you almost feel like you're walking through a ghost town.
Right. And look, moving on to the next thing, friends, we put the personal ones tonight. We made a conscious decision to put the personal ones first, because if your health is not right, if you are not right, your business is not going to be right either. The two of them are functional. They work together. So that's why we put all of the personal aspects in the beginning of the show tonight, because if you're sick, you're not going to be able to run your business effectively. If you're not running at 100%, 90%, 80%, whatever as high as you can get that number to be, your business is going to suffer from it as well, because you're not going to be sharp. You're not going to make good decisions. Your patients are going to be extremely low and short, and all that's going to lead to bad business. And a tremendous amount of that comes from our next point, which is to make sure that you get the required amount of sleep. And that required amount depends on everyone individually. Lisa, for myself, I know that I need 7 hours of sleep to be at 100%. If I get 6, if I get 5, I can feel it right away. So there are some times, because Lisa, a lot of your life is like mine, where we travel a lot, and we're have tight deadlines when it comes to
Time
travel
changes,
and
East
catching
Coast, West
planes.
Coast. Oh, yeah.
Going to the central time zone completely messes me up, and that's
Yeah.
only 1 hour away. And
Right.
that throws me for a loop. Okay. But now with all these additional stresses, with the stress of being grounded, right, and being home and all that type of stuff, your sleep is dramatically important. I need 7 hours, Lisa. How many hours a night do you generally need?
You know, I used to do about 6, but I'm letting myself, like, I'm not making myself get up at 5:30 anymore. You know, I used to do that. Like, I did get that, and I don't, and I'm not doing it to myself. So I'm sleeping till like 7 now. And I do feel better. I was real guilty about it the first week, but if those of you that can do it out there, like, our bodies are under, and our minds are under such a tremendous amount of stress right now that, you know, the extra hour that your mind is asleep, and I read this big study on it today, the extra hour that your mind gets to sleep, that's one less hour you're stressing it out. You're stressing out your body with what is going on in the world. And again, we're not being gloom and doom tonight, because we are going to hit in just a second the business tips to keep you moving forward. And we've got some good ones, and, you know, and it was part from my coach and part from the stuff that, frankly, I've been doing. But you got to be good. You know, you got to take care of you, y'all. You have got to take care of you. And that's, you know, it's the little things to try to keep as much normalcy, I think that's the word, in your life. For those of you who've got kids at home, they need to see it, because, you know, believe it or not, they're probably afraid. I mean, who wouldn't be afraid right now? I mean, you can't turn on anything. You can't get on anything and not COVID-19 and 10 more people dead. It's so stressful.
It is so stressful. Hence why, friends, taking care of yourself is the most selfish thing you can do for everyone else.
Selfless thing, not selfish.
Yeah. I always say selfish, because a lot of people, they say, oh, I got to put in that extra time. I got to do this for my kids. I got to do that. If not, I'm being selfish.
Right. Okay.
And that's what I mean. Go ahead. Be selfish. That's why taking care of yourself is the most selfish thing that you can do for everybody else. Because if you're good, then you have the ability to take care of everyone else. And friends, if you do have things in your life that require you, let's stay on the sleep thing for one more second. If you have things in your life that require you to be at a certain place at a certain time in the morning. Our friend Glenn Lundy was on before, and he has a show that he does every day at 5:30 in the morning. Okay. You just have to reverse engineer. If you know that you need 7 hours of sleep, you've got to be in bed in time to be able to get the 7 hours, get up, get yourself prepared, and be where you need to be at whatever time that is. It doesn't make a difference. It's the same thing like when we were growing up with the school bus in the morning. We had to catch the bus at a certain time. Our parents put us to sleep at a certain time. The sleep part is extremely important, friends. Don't discount it. Lisa, what's next on the
last but not least on the personal side is that, you know, Frank and I both agree is that we don't want y'all to go dark. And I made myself some notes. You know, some are going to be more affected by this than others. And we've got to have compassion for each other, because I don't know what you're going through and you don't know what I'm going through. And and I just want to tell everybody who's on here watching this, like, you need me, you call me. You need me to help you in your business, you call me. You need some advice, you call me. And Frankie, I know you feel the same way. Like, I don't want anybody that I know or anybody that's associated with me and my tribe to feel like they're going through this thing alone. We're all in this together as Americans, and every one of us has a different stress level for many different reasons. And so this is for everything we have set up to this point. There is no judgment. There's no anything. This is just us acknowledging the fact that we are in some very, very scary times. We're in some uncharted waters. We're not going to lose our faith. We're going to continue to be positive. I know what to do to push through and to push forward. And that's what we're going to share with you next.
That's right. That's right. When it comes to your business, friends, this is where we get into the nitty gritty. We went over everything personally, taking care of yourself, extremely important. And now let's dig into the business tips for tonight's show. And number one is to over communicate with your people. And when we're saying over communicate, we're talking about over communicating with your customers, over communicating with your clients, over communicating, probably most importantly, I know Lisa will agree, over communicating with your employees. Okay. If you're a manager, if you're a business owner, if you're a team leader, if you have anyone that reports to you, over communicating with them right now and making sure that every time you do communicate, that you're communicating to them with information that is positive, information that is imperative, information that is need to know. Okay. I've been instructing all of our dealer partners to have a meeting every single day, all hands on deck, full staff meeting, even if the meeting is just to say thank you to everyone for coming in. Thanks for coming in today, because it's so important that you did, because there are people out there that are depending on us to do what we do. So thank you all for sometimes as an employee, hearing your boss or your team leader or whatever say thank you is like, that's the fuel for the day. Would you agree, Lise?
I agree. And we want to say hello to Dan Moore. He just jumped on. I was talking about you earlier, Dan, about our chat today. Yeah. And so, and it's going in and it's asking them, are you doing okay today? And, and we, it's real hard for us sometimes. We're all very type A. We're good. We're competing. We're this, we're that. Again, we're all going through some different stuff right now. And we don't know what the person who works next to us or stands next to us is going through. So especially if you're a leader, but let's just talk about being a human on planet Earth. Why don't we talk, everybody we talk to, that come into contact with, it's how are you? Is there anything I can do to help you? Are you doing okay today? And one of the things I want to, on the don't going dark, and then we'll come back, but I want to encourage you guys and gals to have like virtual happy hours, virtual lunch dates, which I'm scheduling a bunch of that stuff with friends of mine over the next few weeks and with groups of my friends. It's like, okay, if we can't go sit together on Friday night and have a margarita, well, we can by God all get on Zoom and do it. And we can still have this face-to-face interaction, right? It's much more interactive than what we're doing with you guys and gals, but don't go dark. Okay. You've got to stay in front of people. So if you're home or, if you're at work, let's just say, and part of what's happening too, Frankie, when it comes to over communicating is now we have teams that have been segmented. So, the teams all work together, and now we have non-essentials working from home, the essentials there. The people that are on the front lines, let's just say your job got sent home. You're in the accounting department. You're working from home, but you guys have got to keep up with each other, and you've got to be each other's cheerleaders and check in on each other. We have to check in on each other. That's what I wanted to say. And our teams and our coworkers.
I totally agree. And friends, do not think that technology is not working in your favor with this, that technology is hard. Oh, I don't know how to Zoom, oh, I never did Zoom before. Friends, every one of us has one of these things. We all have one of these. And with this thing, you can do a conference call by video. You can just call up your friend on FaceTime and they can see you. You can see them. And, oh, my God, my hair's a mess and everything. Yeah, that's going to happen. The other person's hair is a mess, too. Nobody cares. What matters now is that people can see you so that you can see them. You don't want to FaceTime? Fine. Just call. Old school. Just call and say, hey, how's it going? There's nothing wrong with that. There's no obstacles in your way to do any of this.
So you have to sum that up. You got to over communicate with your team, if you're a leader, hey, Scott Simon, speaking of a great leader. So you have to over communicate with your team. You've got to over communicate with your clients, because you're going to lose some clients over this deal. They're going to have budget cuts. They're going to be afraid. They're not going to want to move forward with whatever you're selling. And you've got to over communicate with them. And, and one of the things that, I've told people recently a lot is, I'm going to tell them the truth about what's going on in the markets. I'm on a unique piece because I work in 3 different sectors, but I'm telling them the truth. And then I'm trusting the fact that they're going to make a good decision with their intelligence. I'm not going to sell people on staying into something. I'm going to over communicate. I'm going to be honest with them. I'm going to tell them where we sit right now based on whether it's the mortgage rate or what's going on. And then I'm going to trust the fact that people are going to do what's best for them. And so I think this is the time not to hide and duck from our clients, hoping that this will happen. It's the time to reach out to them and say, hey, how are you feeling about this? Is this good? We're still moving forward. The sun's going to come up tomorrow. And at this point, we're solid. And, but just being very, very communicative, because what I find during times like this and talking to the people I've been working with and coaching is that they're hiding from their clients. They're like, Lisa, I don't even want to make the phone call because I'm afraid that they're going to cancel the deal. I'm afraid they're going to cancel the order. I'm afraid they're going to back out on the real estate deal, whatever it may be. I'm like, this isn't the time to shuck and hide. Your customers will appreciate the fact that you're speaking to them straight on.
Absolutely, friends. Now is not the time to hide from the people that pay your mortgage. Okay. Now is not the time to hide from them. It's the time to run towards them. Okay. It's the time to run towards them. And it is so vitally important that you keep in contact with them. And Lisa, over the last almost 2 weeks now, it seems like, I have spoken on the phone more than I have spoken on the phone all year up to this day. I know we're only up to March, but I am constantly on the phone. The little adapter that goes in the bottom of your iPhone that'll give you 2 ports so that you can charge and talk with headphones at the same time.
Yeah.
That is the most valuable invention to Frank Jose Lopes.
Jose
of the year, without a doubt, that thing. So that if not, my phone would die and I'd have to charge it back up and I'd miss 5 calls. Friends, you're going to be asked by your clients, you're going to be asked things like, what should I do?
Totally.
You're going to hear phrases like, I don't know what to do.
I'm afraid,
I'm afraid, this and that. Friends, I beg you, take the phrase, I think, and throw it away. All right. I think is not what your clients want to hear. Mm-hmm. What they want to hear you say is, this is what I know. I know that this is going on. I know that your business is down. Your website traffic is down this much. I know your leads are down this much. I know that interest rates were this yesterday and that they're this today. I know the amount of inventory on the market is this. I know the sun will come out tomorrow. Right. And I believe this is what we should do. The words I think will slice your throat every single time. I'm telling you. Start with, this is what I know. Yep. Follow it up with, I believe this.
I couldn't say it better. I could not say it better. Remember, y'all, our clients, no matter what industry you're in, they're doing business with us because we are the experts. We are the authority. We are their authority. That's why they chose to do business with us. They don't want to hear what we think. They want to hear what we know. And then they want to know what we personally believe that they should do, because we are their consultant, no matter what business you're in. If you're in sales, you are a consultant.
That's right. The phrase, I think, just take it out of your mouth and
be done.
Throw it away. Done.
I agree. I agree. Okay, on to the next one. I'm going to take this one. So this is a time, such a time as this, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to be a bit of a capitalist right now. So forgive me, but don't, because we're all in sales and we all have got to survive through this stuff. This is the time that great brands, great personal brands, will be built or they will be destroyed. And when I mean built is because your competition, the majority of your competition is, if they're home or they're heading home or whatever's going to happen in the next, month or two, they're sitting on the couch, they're eating Doritos and they're watching Netflix. You want to be better than the competition. I saw somebody's comment here a minute ago. People are going to remember you if you stay in the game the entire time during difficult times, because I want to deal with somebody when I come out on the other side of all of this. I want to deal with somebody, or I want to do business with somebody who, had high emotional intelligence, right? Very high emotional intelligence, not somebody who's posting stupid things on Facebook. I'm not going to get into what they are, but you know what they are. Making light of a very, very serious situation. Whatever it may be, I want to do business with serious people that are authorities and know how to weather a storm. And that's what we want to prepare you all to do, is to weather this storm, to come out on the other side of it with a stronger brand than what you had when you got into it. So one of my suggestions is take this time that we have and send individual videos to clients, both past and present, and prospects that you're still working, or maybe even those that have hit the pause button. Now, I'm not talking about sending one video and blasting it out to your whole database. I'm recommending that we, let's just say you're going to work 5 days a week. We're going to let our bodies rest a couple days because we're under a lot of stress right now. I want to challenge you to do at least, you guys, we are official. We typed up notes and a whole thing here that Frankie and I came up with. I want to encourage you to challenge yourself to do 20 to 25 1 to 2 minute videos a day, for each person. Hey, Frankie, it's Lisa. What's going on? I'm just checking in on you. Tough times, tough stuff going on in the world today. I was just thinking about you today. If you need anything at all, you know where to find me, whatever it may be. And you want to send those to current clients, to past clients, to your friends, to prospects, maybe, or whatever. It could be that one video, that one email video that you send, or email text that you send, that could just, you never know, because people are going to remember that. When the rest of the world is retreating, you want to be moving forward. But you don't want to be moving forward going, hey, buy something from me. Hey, buy. No.
Hey, when can you come in? Something like that.
Yeah, this is not the time for that. People are in survival mode right now. So you want to be a genuine human on planet Earth, and you want to reach out to everybody you know. But from a business standpoint, current clients, past clients, prospects, previous prospects, and all you're going to do is check in on them. You're going to check in on them, and you're going to offer, what can I do to help you through whatever? Don't try to sell them anything. Don't pitch your product. This is not the time. Just not the time.
No. By calling somebody, let's say you have an inactive client, or let's say that if you're in real estate and you have somebody who was looking at homes 2 months ago and they were like, I just don't know if I'm ready, and then they just cooled off on you, calling them up and saying, hey, have you been thinking about getting back into the market again? That's not going to work. That's not going to work. But the call or the video message or the audio message, the customized message or text, whatever it is, that reaching out to the other person and saying, hey, it's Frank. I was thinking about you, wanting to make sure that you and your family are good. How's everything? ? Send. That's it. Okay. That person, you are not going to suddenly reach out to somebody. Times are different now, friends. The likelihood of you reaching out to somebody and having them respond right back with like, yes, I'd like to go see houses today is extremely, it's extremely low. And it's not because of anything that you did or did not do. It is the climate right now. It is the climate of challenge right now. That's what's going on. Okay. But when the storm passes, when this season of challenge is over, that person is going to remember that you reached out now, and that when you reached out looking for nothing in return besides an answer to, how are you doing today? Okay, that's it. That person is going to remember you. That's the best marketing that you could possibly do, is things like that. The reaching out, like what I call touch 3 in my group, #strong30. One of the things that we talk at, that shameless plug, one of the things that we talk about in our daily action plan is called touch 3. That's where you reach out to 3 people on your friends list, 3 people contacts on your phone, and you just say, hey, how's it going? Haven't heard from you for a while. Not only does it make the person that you reached out to feel good, but most importantly, once again, most selfish thing you can do for everybody else. It makes you feel good.
It
that
does.
You reached out and you touched someone.
Yeah, I've been reaching out to people this week, and typically I just don't have time. I'd love to talk to every single one of you all the time. So many of you, I just don't have the time. And so I've had some time, and so I'm reaching out to friends, and I am monitoring what's happening on social media. And if someone seems down or whatever it may be, but from a business standpoint, I want you to, make that list. You go to that list of your clients, past, previous, and prospects, and you say 20, make it the 20 rule. Video 10 of them, text 5 of them, call 5 of them, do whatever. But I felt so good today because I was able to help a couple people through some stuff today that, I was like, okay, so for the 15 minutes I was talking to this person that I was able to help, I wasn't thinking about woe be me. I was thinking about how to help this person. Right. And then talking to another friend of mine tonight, and talking through some stuff with him, and, but it was 15 minutes that I wasn't worried about me anymore. I was worried about this person. And I think that's what it's going to take. And I think those are the things that will fuel us, when we're going through some, trying times.
Absolutely. Lisa, what's next on the list?
So start to develop scripts for your business. We have time. Now, we're not going to get into scripting tonight, but talk about flipping the script, right? When we come out on the other side of this, and we will, y'all, we are a country that comes out, and we will be different. And so one of the things that my executive coach has really challenged me to do, and I want to challenge all of you to do, is to write a 30-day business plan. Where are you going to be 30 days from now? What's your plan for the next 30 days? And then 60 days. He's like, and you're done at 60, because like even at 30, we're pushing the envelope right now. And what are you going to do? And then start blocking time for that. So I'm going to block 2 hours to make the phone calls. I'm going to block 2 hours to film videos. I'm going to block 2 hours to do whatever. And so, I'm working these time blocks, but one of the things that I'm working on that he really challenged me on, and I'm going to challenge all of you, is start to develop the script, because I don't care what business you are in right now. The story is going to change. Something is going to be different, and we're going to have to help bring our customer, once this thing clears and we're back to work, we're going to have to start developing scripts to bring our customers out of the despair that they're in, and assure them that things are going to be okay. So there'll be more on scripting, because I'm working on scripts right now, just to be able to have conversations with people, not now, 30 days from now or 60 days from now. Because people are going to, I think the whole paradigm of business, Frankie, I don't know about you, I think it's going to change. I think people are going to see that. I think they're going to be really cautious for a long time, even if everything's open. And so I think the better you can get doing business virtually and being able to be an authority, as our friend Sharon Lechter says, in your field, so that you can speak to whatever is going on in your business, from the economy of your business. That's how we're going to build our customer base back up. And that's how we're going to get back on the road to recovery. It's becoming an expert and understanding what's happening over this next 30, 60, 90 days, and being able to properly explain it to our clients so that they feel confident to start spending money again. And that's where you're going to have to develop some scripts.
Yes,
we'll take a breath now.
Absolutely. I'm going to go on a limb of saying something. I have not said this publicly yet on any of my own shows or any of the other shows that I've been a guest on, but I'll definitely say it here. I'm really hoping, and I'm praying, because it's the best thing that could happen to all of us, that a lot of the habits that we are going to pick up from this season of challenge, the things that we're going to have to do that honestly, that we've all been saying for years, oh, I got to start doing that. Oh, I really got to start blocking out my time blocks during the day and only doing certain things during the day. In automotive, things like, oh, we're going to be picking up and dropping off customers' cars for service, and that we're going to bring the car to the customer's house. I really hope that all of these things that we were supposed to be doing anyway, that when this season passes, that we continue to do them and they become our habit. I
Yes.
hope that they stay around. I don't hope that this stays around for a long time, but I hope that these habits, that we do them enough, that these actions now, all of these new behaviors, that we do them enough that they become our habits. And after this season passes, we take those good habits with us, and we get the sleep that we need, and we get the exercise that our body needs, and we don't eat the Doritos. Nothing against Dorito company, but nothing that we don't eat a bag of Doritos while we watch TV, and that we make 5 calls a day or 8 calls a day or 10 calls a day or whatever it is, and that we do all those things, and they just become habit, that when all this is over, we're like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't make my calls. I got to make my calls. I got to block out my time.
And more importantly, hey, I didn't reach out to 20 people today. I mean, we should be doing that anyways, but we get so busy being busy doing what we do that, we have lost, and I'm as guilty as guilty. We have lost the human touch when it comes to our clients, our colleagues, our past clients, and our prospects. And this is the time to reconnect and re-engage, because like I said, the calls I was on today, I was able to help a couple people through some stuff, and I just felt like, okay, that was good. And for that 20 minutes, I didn't think about woe be me, because I was thinking about how am I going to help them.
And friends, here's another point. Right now, if you're on the home lockdown, if you're home right now, or if you are going to wind up being home in the near future, you have the time. The excuses are over. They're gone. The excuses of, I'm too busy to do this, I'm too busy to do that. Oh, I'd love to start that new diet, I'd love to start that exercise program, but I just don't have the time. You got the time. Okay,
no excuses, people.
They're gone. Your excuses have been lifted from you. Okay, so now is the time to jump into all of these good habits. A lot of people are saying, I'm home because there's no work. Oh no, you got work. You got a whole new job. A whole new job just started. It's all the things that you're
going to build your brand. You're going to build your pipeline, because all of your competitors, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but all your competitors are home saying the same thing. And this is the time, y'all, that you can jump out in front of the competition. You can show people what you're made of. You can build your brand. You can stay the course. You can build your authority. You can sharpen your axes. I talked to Josh yesterday. I'm telling you, I'm talking to everybody. I'm loving it. And Josh and I had a great conversation. I love that guy. And, and just the things that, he's going to do, to, learn some more. And he's just thank you. I'm going to take some classes. I'm going to learn some stuff. He's got a bunch of good stuff going on in his life right now. And, but it's up to us. It's up to us, because if we don't do it now, because this will pass. I believe it, Frankie. I believe in 90 days or 100, whatever it is, that we're going to wake up again and we're going to be so stinking busy, because what's going to happen with customers? There's going to be pent up demand.
Absolutely.
They're going to be like every one of us. They've been in the house for 60 or 90 days, and they're going to be rabid, and which is great. Please, God, let that happen sooner than later. But they're going to be rabid, and they're going to want to go buy cars and buy real estate and get mortgages and what insurance and all the things that you guys and gals do. And we're not going to be able to take a breath, because because I think we're going to go from 0 to 100 one day, kind of like it stopped from 100 back to 0. I think it'll happen again, just like that. And this time that we have doesn't need to be for naught. It doesn't need to be home thinking about the worst case scenario that could be happening to our families or in our country or to ourselves. We can't go there. Okay. It's bad. We know it's bad, but we cannot let ourselves go down to the point of despair and not being able to climb out of it. We need to build our business. We need to build our brands. We need to build our endurance, our health, our rest. We need to do the things that we need to do. So when we come out on the other side of this, we are ready for the pent up demand and to hit it hard again, because we will hit it hard again.
That's right.
This country was in great shape up until this epidemic. So there's pandemic, I should say. So our economy was good. We were blowing and going. And so it will happen again once we can get this thing under control.
Absolutely. Friends, play the odds on this one. Okay. I'm serious. Look at the odds and play the odds. The odds are in your favor right now, right? If you look at the condition that the economy was in 2 weeks ago, you look at the condition that the stock market was in 2 weeks ago, and where we are
Oh,
right now, everyone, when this season passes, everyone, their focus will be to put, not to put everything back the way it was, but to have it be better. Every single press conference, President Trump has said that the and when this is over, he feels the economy will be better. Okay. It is going to be in his best interest for the economy to be better, which means play the odds, right? Play the odds that when this is all over, play the odds that all of your competitors are going to sit on their fat asses at home and watch Fox News all day and eat ring dings. Okay. Play the odds, because that's probably what's going to happen. All right.
right.
Play the odds that of what Lisa was saying before, that the demand is going to be so pent up that when this is over, and with the economy, with the momentum of a rising economy behind it, right? The amount of people out there looking to transact, whether it be to buy a car, to upgrade to a better house, because interest rates more than likely, play the odds again.
They will come
Interest
back down.
rates, they will come right back down, okay, to where because they need, the interest rates need to be low and the money needs to be flowing for the economy to move. That's very simply, that's just the way that it works, okay? Play the odds. That means for you right now, sharpen that axe, okay? Sharpen that brain. Get your body in great shape. Keep your body in great shape so that when it happens, you're ahead of everybody else. You're already 2, 3, 4, 10 steps ahead of everybody else. And now all of your competitors need to play catch up. And then for you, the only competitor that you have is yourself.
That's right.
That's it. No one else. Lisa, I do not compete. And for a long time, I have not competed with anyone else in my space.
Would there ever be another Frank Jose Lopes?
There can never be another Jose.
Jose.
Never.
And for
never,
those
ever,
tuning in, I had to ask Frankie, what does the J in Frank J. Lopes stand for? I was thinking he was going to say Jose. And he's like, no, it's Portuguese for Jose. And I'm like, well, then the Jose works along with the whole Harry, because he looks like he could be some, like, hairdresser or something.
I'm telling you, when this is over, another part, I'm going to have this big, long, like European slick back type of haircut.
Oh,
probably,
yeah.
And there'll be a whole, and I can take on that whole Jose persona. I'll be walking around.
Oh, Andrea, I know you're watching. God help you is all I have.
She has to, you know what? She has to listen to this all day now. She used to be able to go 2-3 days of breaks here and there.
Oh,
She's got this 24/7. I wake her up in the middle of the night with these crazy ideas.
Oh, I know. I have no doubt about that. So good. God bless you, my dear friend. And I'm so sorry I'm not going to be at your house next week. All right. So let's just keep moving so we can let people go back to their lives here. Do you want to do the next one, Frankie?
The next one, I got to put my glasses on. The next one is we didn't talk about building your lead sources, right? Mm-hmm. Building your lead sources. This is exactly what Lisa was talking about before. A lot of times your lead sources, friends, they're going to come from referrals from other people in the industry. All right. You're sitting at home now. Look at how all this is functional, how it all works one thing into another like a big web, right? If you're doing all of the things that we spoke about before, 5 of the 12, Lisa's 20, 5 of the people that you reach out to could be, let's just say you're in real estate. They could be mortgage brokers. They could be people that do home inspections. They could be people that sell title insurance. They could be other real estate agents in your area. Okay. Mm-hmm. Reach out to them and network with them, because once the season passes, you will need everyone in your team. You will need everyone in your network. And I can guarantee you, you will have referrals coming to you from every single option, from every single angle, and you'll be able to refer out as well, which keeps your flow going. Old clients that you had, old prospects that you had that never bought, reach out to them. You see how we were saying before about how calling people and just saying, hey, how you doing? Or video conferencing, hey, how you doing? Or even just a simple text message, I was thinking of you, how are you doing?
Ask them to have a video lunch with you. I mean, why
Yeah.
not? I mean, we all have to eat, right? We can, just don't let them see you eating your Doritos, but sit here and just eat lunch and have the conversations.
Absolutely. I
We
mean,
have to stay in the game. But, Frankie, one of the things I want to say about that is that, as we come in, lots of people are commenting about the virtual stuff, but as we come into the new world, the virtual business is going to be a thing because but you've got to learn to master it. I cannot believe how many people don't know how to do video. They don't know how to do a Zoom. When I say don't know how to do it, yeah, you can do the technical piece of it. Sure, I get that. But what they don't know how to do is how to speak on camera, how to have that eyeball to eyeball conversation, how to present well, how to show up well, how to get yourself, because so many people are so good in person, Frankie. Like when I meet them, I'm like, wow, you're awesome, like whatever. But when I see them on video or something, they don't know how to project that awesomeness and that positivity. And that's something when we talk about sharpening your axes right now, that's something you can be working on. I've got a good friend. I'm going to put it in the comments, Kim Barnes Media Team. And she does it's like $97 and she does like 12-week. I don't know. I'm going to put it up. I'm going to have Kim put something up on it. I've been promoting her forever. She and her husband were both top newscasters in Texas, and she can get you camera ready because in the new world that we live in, you've got to understand virtual business, video teleconferencing, being able to go in, if you're a realtor, to show a house virtually, to be able to show a car virtually, to be able to do everything like we're doing it tonight, because that is going to be the new world order. I mean, I believe more so than ever that we're going to be much more cognizant after something like this has hit us of, doing business kind of like this, at least for a long time. But it's a great skill to have. And number two, y'all, it's a lot more effective. It's a lot more efficient. It's a lot more efficient, and people appreciate that. But you've got to be good on camera. You've got to be able to communicate to the camera, speak to the camera. So I'm going to put up Kim Barnes's information. There's a lot of people out there who claim to be good and they're not, but Kim Barnes is the best, and she's not expensive.
All right. So friends, go to Kim Barnes. Her information will be in the comments. Go to her. You can start even just if you want to just get yourself started a little bit. There's this fantastic website that you can go to. Everybody grab a pen right now because I want you to write this down. Okay. There's a great website where you can go to where you can learn about this and a whole bunch of other stuff. Okay. I'll spell it for you. It's YOUT UBE.com.
YouTube.
Go to YouTube, type whatever the hell it is that you want to do into the search bar, and you will find videos that'll get you started. Okay. And then once you get started and you kind of have a little bit of a groundwork on what to work with, what to look for, reach out to Kim. Like I said, $97, man. You ain't going to be spending. You're not going to spend money on gas. You're not going to spend money on Doritos. You're going to stop buying that crap, right? So you're going to have $97 to invest in yourself, right? Be selfish. Taking care of yourself is the most selfish thing you can do for everybody else. If you can master the video thing, if you can get yourself 20% better, okay, you will be 20% better than most. It's that's how simple it is, right? You invest in yourself and learn. You've got the time. Okay, number one, where's my thumb? There it is. You've got the time to do it. You can't tell on the screen sometimes.
I know.
You got the time to do it right now. Okay, you got the time. You've got free resources, plus you've got inexpensive resources to go to.
And so many people, Frankie, are putting it. Look at your group. Like let's talk about your group for a minute. What you have done for the sales industry, for the salespeople for free. There's so many amazing resources, but as we wrap up, I want to talk about your group because you have helped so many salespeople go to the next level. And how much does it cost to go and join Frankie's group and get all of the assets that he gives every single day? Zero.
It costs nothing, friends. Just go on to Facebook and search #Strong30, right? If you're in automobile sales, specifically if you're in automobile sales, but honestly, if you're in any type of sales game, it does not matter. There is valuable resources and valuable content for you right here. Hashtag strong 30. There are it's only been up for a very short period of time, but there's almost 1,000 members in there that are interacting daily. Some of the largest volume automobile dealerships in the country are using the Strong 30
The method.
daily
I mean,
worksheet.
it's a method for success.
That's right. They're using the method for success in their dealerships, and they're going to continue to use it. 3 of the top 4 dealerships in California are all using it, and these are big stores that are all in the top 25 in the nation. So this isn't something that's fly by night or is not tested or is not being employed, and it has shown proven results, proven increased results. Plus, just being in the group, there is a ton of content that's in there. Every single one of my shows are in there each and every single day. You have other people. It's open forum too, so I allow other people to share their shows into the group and stuff. The amount of content that is in there is priceless, and it costs you nothing. The only thing that I ask back from you is that you engage in the group. So when you see a group member put up their action sheet for the day, give them a like, give them a heart, give them a comment that says, great job, excellent job. Hey, you got 9 checks today. That's awesome, right? Just encourage each other. It's there for the good of everybody else, because I know that putting out good content like that, it makes me feel good. I'm doing it for everybody else, but I'm being selfish at the same time, friends.
Right.
It makes me feel good. It's good for me because it keeps me sharp. It keeps me thinking about, hey, what do I need to share out there? What content do I need to put in?
It also keeps you, I mean, just like you were going to come to this marketing event with me, you and I were going to this marketing event in New York next week. But now they're going to do it virtually. So at least we still get to see it, Frankie. But going to the events that you're going to, and you're training in all different kinds of industries so that you can bring your best practices back to your clients in the auto industry. And if you guys and gals knew the level he goes to learn, I mean, that's the way that I got my executive coach. It's because it's somebody Frankie follows in the real estate industry. And he said, Lisa, you have to follow him in whatever. And so then I ended up, going with them because they're amazing. And, but just the amount of time that you have spent learning other best practices of other industries and how you can pivot and adapt those for automotive, because nobody else has thought of this stuff yet, like what you're doing. What other agencies have started a group with 1,000 salespeople in it. It isn't like you have 1,000 dealers in the group, because then you're just trying to sell something. You are pouring into 1,000 salespeople, automotive sales professionals around the country. And more than ever, we are committed to pour into every one of you to help you through this. Because I'm telling y'all, I'm going to have more initials after my name after 90 days from now, all your certifications and licenses and all this stuff. I already have quite a few, but I almost have like a PhD and everything, because I'm just soaking it all up, because I've got the time to do it. And I love to learn and I love to be challenged. But more importantly, I think that I was put on planet Earth to share it back. It just like I know you do, Frankie, and I know so many of you too. You pour into people, but now is the time that we're going to, all of us, to pour into people. We've got to help each other. We've got to be compassionate. We've got to, share the good news, share any hacks we get. I will be on tomorrow. I'm going to have our good friend, Adam Marburger, on. We love Adam. And we're not going to talk about the car business. We're going to talk about the fact, we're going to talk about working out. We're going to talk about mental. So Adam is a jujitsu. How do I say jujitsu?
Jujitsu.
Jujitsu. He owns a jujitsu. That's his other thing. Plus, he's a real estate investor. Adam's a really, really fascinating guy. He's in an amazing shape. He's all about the mental. And we're going to talk about some of the practices of that. Nothing about business and car business. We're going to talk about how do you take care of yourself? How do you get into great shape? How do you clear your mind? And all through martial arts. He's got some really fascinating stuff. And, it makes me feel better to do the work like what Frank and I did today, to do what we came up with and to talk about it. Yeah. Like we didn't just get on to spitball tonight. we came on with a purpose, and we hope that you all got something out of it. But if more importantly is that you today, right now, is the time to build your brand, because your competitors are not. I promise you 90% of them are saying, woe be me. And
That's right.
We don't want you to do that. We're in uncharted waters. We're in difficult times. But what I know is the sun will come up in the morning, and as a country, we will survive, and we will get back on our feet. And we want every one of you ready when that happens. And absolutely. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I also don't want friends and people that I know home just isolated and just so depressed. And that's what I've seen. And I've talked to people, and and just if Dan's still on here, I called him today. I'm like, I'm all dressed up with nowhere to go. And I told Frankie that earlier too. It's like it will play in your head if you let it. But you know what? I'm not going to let it win. What do they say? The idle mind and the devil. So we can't let it win. Every one of us who's on here, we are better than that. As Americans, we're better than that. We are resilient, and we're going to come through this. Every one of you are going to come through it. I'm going to keep posting resources, and I'm going to do some stuff on that if indeed your income has been cut, and some mortgage relief stuff. I'm coming with all that probably again tomorrow. I've been on webinars all day on that. I want to give you every tool you need to get through this. Every tool you need, and by me doing that, it helps me. It helps me because it keeps my mind off of my problems so that I can help other people. And Frankie, I'll let you give your final, and then we'll let everybody go.
Absolutely. Friends, I have two things that I want to leave you with tonight. Okay, two things. Number one, if you're home right now, if you're not working, if you're going to be home in the near future, it does not mean that you are not employed, and it does not mean that you do not have a job. Even if you're working in an automobile dealership and your dealership closes, that does not mean that you do not have a job. You do have a job. Your job now is to do all of the things that we spoke about tonight. It's to take care of yourself, mentally, emotionally, and physically, to make sure that you are in the best shape that you could possibly be every given moment of every single day. It is so important. I said it 9 times. I'll say it 10. Taking care of yourself is the most selfish thing that you can do for everybody else. Don't do this. I'm going to put the whole world on my shoulders, and I'm going to do it for my kids and that kind of. Do it for you, okay? Because by doing it for you, you'll be able to do it for everybody else. So you do have a job. Your job now is to take care of yourself. It's to get yourself in the best shape you can possibly get in, and it's to learn as much as you can. Sharpen your axe, get as many new skills in, refresh the old skills.
Start a blog. Anything.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just get into something. That's number one. And number two, friends, before this started, right now, during this season of challenge, and when this season passes, you have no competition but yourself. Every morning when you wake up and you go to the restroom, you go to the bathroom, we all do it. Every human being does it. That guy in the mirror or that girl in the mirror looking at you, your competitor is right there with you. They're with you all day. Everybody else, who gives a crap? They don't matter. Your competition is you. Now is the opportunity, and now is the time for you to master your competitor. It's the time for you to get ahead of your competitor, and your competitor is yourself. Get out of your own head. Get out of your bad habits. Get your snoot out of the Doritos bag, okay? And get yourself moving on new things that are going to help you grow. I guarantee you, friends, I guarantee you myself, if you invest in yourself during this season of challenge, if you invest in yourself and you learn and you do all the things that we suggested tonight, if you employ each and every single one of those actions, I guarantee you that when this season passes, you will be so far ahead of where you were before this started. You will be so far ahead that all of that increased demand that's going to be there, all of that market lift that's going to be there, all these good habits that you are going to be employing over who knows how long it's going to be. No one knows.
We don't know
how long this season's going to be. We don't know. But the one thing I do know is that all of the habits that you build up, they are going to pay off 1,000-fold when this season passes. So you do have a job. You have a job each and every single day. Maybe your job just doesn't mean that you get in the car and you go to a dealership, or you go to the real estate office, or you go to the mortgage brokerage office, or you go to the insurance office. Maybe it doesn't mean that. Maybe it means you simply walk from upstairs to downstairs. But get yourself dressed, get yourself ready, fix up your hair, okay? Make yourself all pretty like that one right there, okay? And
sitting next to you, I don't feel pretty, Frankie.
Well, you still are, honey. But just do what it is that you were meant to do, and that's to thrive, and that's to be the best. You are the best, okay? So stop with the snoot in the Doritos and actually be it. Show us all, because look, all of us are watching. Lisa and I are watching you, and we want nothing would make us happier than to see you succeed. Nothing in the world would make us happier.
And not just survive during this time, but to thrive. And I just saw where Kim Barnes, hi Kim, put up some quick training videos about being on camera. And Kim, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Let's put together something for all of our viewers, which I know you've started another group, but if nothing else, if you come out in 30 days from now and you know how to get on camera and you know how to do a video to your clients and to your prospects, and just to, and start selling virtually and do Facebooks and things like that, you're ahead of the game. You're ahead of 99% of your competition, because they don't know how to be on camera. And Kim Barnes, bar none, she and her husband, Mike, they are both former television newscasters, like big deal newscasters. Her husband, Mike, was the #1 sportscaster in Texas. Wonderful, wonderful friends of mine. They live here in Austin. They are professionals. Don't spend money with people that have not been trained professionals on being on camera. Mike and Kim are the only two that I know of everybody that is in our circles that are trained professionals that will teach you how to do it right. Every single time, and they are pros. So Kim, just keep posting that up here, but we'll do something for the group on that. And so Frankie, it's always a pleasure, my friend. Everybody out there, tomorrow night, I don't know what time, I've got to talk to Adam, but probably the same time, same back channel, Adam Marburger, and we're going to just talk about, how do we really take care of ourselves at home? How do we mentally get into the jitsu? How do we work out from home? How do we do that? Because I don't know about y'all, but every gym in Texas has been shut down. So you're either outside, or you got to figure out at home what to do, because we can't go to the gym anymore. Right. So that could be a huge negative, or it could be an excuse. And we could say, I can't go to the gym, so I'm going to eat Twinkies and I'm going to watch the news cycle as it cycles through every 30 minutes. And I'm so depressed. I can't deal with life. Right. Or we can say, this is my new normal. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up this routine, which Adam's going to help us do tomorrow. I'm going to get into a certain mindset, and I'm going to get through this thing. And to what you said, Frankie, and when I get to the other side, when we rebound, I'm going to be better for it. And that is my sincere hope and prayer for every single person on planet Earth, because for us to wish for anything any differently, it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good. And I'm not saying that we don't have some trying times ahead of us, because I believe that we do. But Jim Fitzpatrick says, this is Jim in Atlanta is open. Although the gym in it, okay, well, you put Jim like your name, Jim Fitzpatrick. Did you guys see my car business?
Did he put Jim like his name?
Today, by the way, I had Frank's picture on there, and Mr. Ben Stocks and Crinity. So we love Jim Fitzpatrick. But anyways, his gym's open. All our gyms closed. Our governor closed everything today. Only thing he didn't do was put us on lockdown, but we're pretty much on lockdown. So anyways, it's fluid. It's changing every single day. I don't think things are going to loosen up by any stretch. I think it's going to go the other way. And we've got to figure out how to survive, not just survive, but to thrive, how to build our brands, how to go to the next level, so that when we come out of this and there's this huge pent up demand and all of our businesses go crazy, and this is going to be something that happened back then, that we're ready for it and we're better for it. With that, oh, you guys are awesome. Thanks, Jim. Coming from Jim. love Jim Fitzpatrick.
There's an authority on being on camera, right?
All right. Exactly. Let's keep positive in this industry. Jim, that's all we can do. We have to keep positive. We have no choice. I mean, we're in this thing 24/7, 7 days a week. And I swear we're getting off now, but I just want to leave it. If anybody needs me, I am here. Lisa@lisacopeland.com. Shoot me an email. Let's get on the phone. If I can help you, support you, whatever I need to do, I'm here. I want to help. That's right. And Frank, I know you feel the same way.
Absolutely. Same thing goes by me. Just reach out to me, Facebook Messenger, Instagram DM, send a pigeon message to my house, send a pigeon with a thing scrolled around their foot. I don't care. Get a message to me. I will reply. I will help you. I'll be there for you. So will Lisa. We both love you so much. And we thank you so much for watching. Hey, if you haven't hit the share button yet, guess what I'm about to say? Hit the share button. Okay, hit the share button right now. Let's get tonight's show out to as many people as we possibly can, because I guarantee we all know somebody who's got their snoot in the Doritos bag, or is walking around all mouchad and everything, or is right on the brink of going into that depression state. So please hit that share button. Let's get it out to everybody. Tag your friends, all that great stuff. Don't forget to watch Lisa and Adam Marburger tomorrow night at about 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Don't forget to watch live with Lopes every night until I conk out, exclusively on Facebook Live. And Lisa, sign them off, because it's your show, not mine.
Okay. Everyone go out there, be safe, be great, be well. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We love you.